The House of Blasius, mate.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me. Delighted to be invited.
Steve Tolen.
Yeah, that's me. Stolen, as I'm affectionately called.
Stolen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right. That's right. Steve
Yes, Tolen, stolen.
You are stolen.
Hence where stolen co came from. It was the easiest thing to kind of put together. And the amount of people who said to me over the years, you know, your name is S. Tolen. You know, stolen. I go, I've never. And I go, yes, it's my nickname.
Yeah, stolen.
Stolen.
So where's that from? Where's Stolen?
So yeah, born and bred in Liverpool, and the thing about that is people in Liverpool are
Fanatic soccer fans?
fanatic soccer fans,
Football fans?
red side or the blue side. I'm very much the blue side, so I'm an Everton fan, and it's kind of ironic
that is a
because
clash.
my middle name is Gerrard, and Steven Gerrard used to play for Liverpool, so Steven Gerrard Tolen, and the people go, "Do you know your middle name?" And I go, "Yeah, I do." So there we go. So my parents really had fun with that name.
Yeah, okay. And how long have you been here for in Australia?
Mate, Friday 13th of March 2009, we landed. Remember that date scarred into my brain because my fiance was still not married, and people say that three kids later. We landed in Brisbane. Ruth was just under 5 months pregnant, so right on the cusp.
Yep.
Never been to Australia, neither of us. We were living in Bristol in the UK. Fancied a new opportunity. I'd lived in Asia previously and just wanted a change of life. Ironically, found out Ruth was pregnant just after I got the job offer. So I'm kind of like, hey, I'm pregnant. Okay, yes, good. But how does that change things? And the reason I remember that date is because getting into Australia, you had to go through quite a lengthy kind of visa process. Because Ruth was pregnant, she couldn't do the x-ray. So had to go through and do a blood test and various kind of things. So as I now realise, the reason it took so long, in January in Australia, nothing happens. So January came, went, 09, sorry. And it came through Valentine's Day 09. And 27 days later, we were both on the plane. Neither of us had set foot in Australia. Landed in Brisbane. They said, come into the office about 11 o'clock on the Monday. And I remember why. Because they closed the office on my first day. So that was my first day on the job in Australia.
Oh, close the office.
Closed the office.
Wait, what was that job? What job?
It was working for a company called BBT, and I was going out there to manage the Brisbane office. And as I'd accepted the offer in about October, November, you'd watch the kind of the market kind of started to turn, construction, mining, and those kind of things really suffered. And I was listening to the conversations get a little bit less positive, and they said, still kind of come out, whatever. And so we had to. That was day one in Australia.
Yeah, well, welcome to Australia.
I don't know what aftershave I had on that day, mate, but it did the trick. So that was it. And that was on the Monday. And by the Friday night, we took the 4 suitcases, which was all we had. And we flew down to Sydney. So that was week one.
So I got in contact with you through Mario.
Yeah.
Which is good. And so you build businesses.
Yeah, mate.
Well, explain what you do.
So my skill, I guess throughout the years, I've always been into sales, kind of business development, the Rainmaker, leading sales teams and kind of building businesses. So that's kind of my skill, what I enjoy. So, over the years, that's where I've kind of excelled. And I guess that's kind of my sweet spot. If you're looking for someone to do admin, operations and things, it's probably not the guy. If you're looking for someone to kind of really drive activity, get things moving, go out there, create a bit of noise and go out and meet as many people as possible, build a brand, build a business. I'm the guy. So that's
networker.
That's the networker. Yeah.
And this is what it's here.
Exactly. So, mate. So that's really what my passion is. People, activity, going out and actually meeting people. I do a lot of networking events, which I really enjoy. And it's something that's become quite topical really over the last kind of couple of months, because whatever line of business you're in, there seems to be, and maybe this is since COVID, where people have got used to doing things from home, over-reliance on technology. And I generally think that a lot of the kind of core fundamentals of relationship building, meeting people, having conversations, going out, actually gaining trust, those things have kind of really gone lacking.
Yeah, like we were saying before,
Yeah.
where you put up today, where you made a comment.
Yeah.
Yeah, the disconnection in people.
Mate, and it's rife. I mean, if we look at kids today, and obviously I've got 3 kids, makes me sound like a right old bugger, but they're glued to the phones. You know, my son's no different. My daughter's now no different. And she had one, a couple of months. And it's that kind of instant gratification, right? You know, the attention span's gone. Yeah. I definitely do not have a great attention span. I think I am a goldfish at times, but I have to work really hard to kind of, to focus and give attention. And I'm a very deep thinker, but today you kind of realize that people, they just want everything now and on a silver platter. And that's not how life works. And it's quite a topical thing as per that post today. Gen Zs and kind of Gen Xs, how people are feeling kind of disconnected. And I think there's some truth in it, but I think technology's got a lot to say for that.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
So I do labour hire, as we spoke about, and I find the younger generation disconnected.
Yeah.
Don't even talk, really. Eye connection as well, you know what I mean? Like, there's you go on the train, or on the metro, I was telling Nick, and I had a trip on there, and everyone's on their phone.
Yeah.
If you look up, the whole row, it's just, everyone's like this.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
Like, I know we joked about it, but I don't catch public transport, but when you're on there now, you see it.
Mate, I'm the same. I actually get the bus to work. I get the beeline by Warringham Mall. And I stand at the front. I always stand every day. And I'm kind of knowing the driver gives me the same look as him. Why doesn't he sit down? And I do. I stand. Part of it's because I've had a dodgy back recently. But I do. And I sit there and I look. And you see everybody. It used to be even kind of read a book or what have you. But the thought of if you actually interact with someone, particularly on public transport, you look like a bit of a weirdo.
You're a weirdo. Even with your head up. Even just looking at people.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, look away.
What's going on? What
I sort of throw a smile, but then you look like a creep.
Yeah. Yeah, very much so. But it's mate, I totally agree. I mean, I'm just as bad. And again, as I was saying before, I was listening to Nick's podcast, and I struggle with that kind of switching off. Used to be the old kind of 5 o'clock work was somewhere that you physically went to.
Yeah.
And again, I kind of go back to the lockdowns and things. That kind of barrier between place of home and home and place of work. I think those barriers kind of came down, and now people are just so much more kind of accessible. Yeah. And, even for me personally, I think got to get better at kind of having those barriers, because you're constantly looking, constantly on things. And
I fall for it too.
Yeah.
Like doing this.
Yeah.
Having to upload stuff for this.
Yeah.
It takes a bit of it. Even yourself on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Everything's online.
Yeah.
So this is the thing we tell our kids not to. But then I grab my phone sometimes,
Yeah.
And I think once they get a phone, they're sort of lost.
For sure.
And you can't cut them off. That's what all the kids do. It's what they need now.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
And you set the example, right? Again, that's why I didn't listen to the podcast. I'm no better. But I think the kids, particularly now with TikTok especially and stuff, I'm definitely not on that. Or Snapchat, that's what my son's favourite thing is.
That's time wasting, mate.
Yeah, that's gone. So, yeah, mate, it's definitely a bit of, an issue. And I think when it kind of comes to the, to the workplace, we're seeing this kind of more and more, which is people are just so used to technology and kind of, as I say, that instant gratification where, and to me, when I talk a lot about technology, particularly in the relationship building process or sales, it's an enabler. So here's where I think a lot of people get it wrong. Again, they think it's the silver bullet. If you use it properly, you should use it to be able to connect with more of the people that you'd like to have a conversation with, connect with the right people, still focus on building, relationship, building trust, etc., gaining rapport. That's where I think it's missing.
Yeah, like how you use it.
Yeah.
Building network,
That's right.
business. It's good, right? You're not TikToking.
No. I wouldn't even know how to go on. No. I couldn't see it without my glasses on.
That's how it started, wasn't
it? Yeah.
So like, okay, so going as you work in sales, trying to build business up and teams up of people.
Yeah.
Like I find it is the new generation coming through. It's different. So how do you work with them to try? Is it a different way you go ahead with building it up and getting them to sell or to promote, or like?
Yeah.
Is it different? You have to adapt.
Yeah, mate. So I think I wrote my own kind of sales methodology, very basic kind of 5 steps. So where I work today, so Pinpoint MD. So I've gone in there working in the business and with the sales team there. The first thing that I do, my leadership style is I lead by example.
Yep.
Right. Cool. So if I look at some of the best leaders, not managers, that I've had in my
Beautiful
career.
hairstyle.
Yeah. Do you like it? Thank you. Get a lot of stick for my hair.
It's nice, man. It's good, really nice. I had to bring that up.
Mate, I was actually in the gym the other day, and someone said it was a good workout, but his hair hasn't moved. I get a lot of stick for it.
Sorry, you're right.
But mate, the best leaders, people that will say, "I'm going to show you how I would do this," and here's how. They're the ones that I've I guess absorbed the most kind of knowledge from, and they've inspired me. Yeah. People just telling you what to do or achieve that number or do X number of calls, it's failed, right? It's so you want to see, and that's where I do my, I've developed so much as people who can actually show me, this is how I engage with this person, this is why this would be a good prospect, this is how you kind of go about it. So that's the kind of the methodology that I've always had, which is I'll show you how I go about it. Like even today, we're talking with the team. And, the market's a little bit soft at the moment for job flow, right? Economy, inflation, elections kind of coming up, all these things that you can't control. The first thing I say is control what you can control. You can control that you turn up every day on time, you show up with a smile, good energy, and that you have a go. So I'm going to speak to 10 people today and see if I can add value. You can control that. And I think there's this kind of misconception that, we're in recruitment, especially, it is a sales role. You get paid on results, right? Whether you match a client to a candidate. But I actually say, please do not sell. Right? If you're speaking to Daniel, why would you speak to Daniel? Oh, I just want to get some jobs off him. Okay. Let's take it back a few steps. Have you researched him? Who is he? I want to speak to you. Just work out that process first and kind of go through it that way. And then all I want you to do is engage in a conversation. So the first thing that I do in sales methodology is I say, just attract someone's attention. And people go, well, how do I do that? And I go, you can use social media, you can put a blog out, you can do whatever, you can be word of mouth, but that's the first thing you need to do. Just think about why would they want to engage? So that's kind of, in today's kind of world, it's not who you know, it's who knows you. So even doing stuff like this, a podcast or putting things out, the biggest kind of compliment that I've had, recently went to networking events and 2 or 3 people come up to, I know you, right? And thanks very much. I've seen you on LinkedIn and stuff. That's the way that sales has kind of evolved. You have to put yourself out there. You don't get that instant gratification or kind of feedback. And at times you might not think that it's working, but you'll be surprised.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So put yourself out there for the purpose.
For the purpose.
Yeah. For your purpose, for what you do, what service you give.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you're the main person, right? Sell yourself by being you.
Mate, everyone
connecting.
Yeah, everyone. I always say, just think about the 3 W's: who, what, why. Why would somebody want to speak to you? What are they going to talk about? And who are you? And what do you know about them? It sounds really simple, and it is. Like, you literally, if I pick up the phone to someone now, there'll be a process where, again, I attract attention. Maybe I've connected with them on LinkedIn. Maybe I've met with them at a networking event. Maybe we've had a bit of chit chat. I don't always get it right, but I get better at the more I do. The second point to that is you try and increase, develop engagement. Bit of back and forth. Third point is you build rapport. The fourth point is you open an opportunity. And the fifth point is hopefully you close and you can repeat. And everyone goes, how do I get from number 1 to number 3 or whatever? And I go, just master number 1. Because if you don't master that, it doesn't matter. And this is the first thing. People are just so desperate to go, oh, we've just spoken. Do you want to buy from me? And people go, mate, I don't even know who you are. So I think in any line of sales, and kind of digressing, if we've been lucky enough to work with a few professional boxers, and the process is the same, where they're going, we want to stand out, we want to attract sponsors. Okay, cool. So they know, as an example, why they want to attract sponsorship, what they need the money for, as an example, sport training, There's many boxers in the same way there's many salespeople. My point is, what makes you stand out? What makes you different, right? So if you're approaching a corporate or a business, they're going to want to know, okay, did the values align? What would make you a good kind of fit for us?
Just like a man trying to pick up a lady.
Yeah.
To find someone he loves,
yeah,
isn't it?
But it is, mate. It's like it's exactly
it's sales, dude.
Yeah, it's exactly what makes you unique. Is there a connection there?
So if you want to pick up someone, just listen to this man.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, it's the same thing, isn't it? Same and different. Okay.
Yeah, but it's a connection,
Yeah,
right?
that's what it is. Yeah.
Have a connection.
Talk.
Yeah, have a connection. Talk.
Genuine connection.
Genuine authenticity is absolutely key, right? You know, and the one thing that I'll always kind of say, what defines you? How would you describe yourself? Always authentic.
Yeah.
Like, what you see is what you get, right? Like, you know, you said you expected me to walk in with a suit. Unfortunately, I'm not. I'm sorry. I've let you down. Probably just blown the image completely.
No, you've come from the beach. It wasn't me in the area, so you're sort of just cruising.
Just cruising in, yeah. Just
evening
cruising in. First time in Penrith as well.
That's when he wears his suit. You thought he was going to get mugged. You don't get mugged, you little North Shore snob. It's like Aiden, you know, the barber shop. It's the same. He says coming out here, he was a bit scared. That's funny. Okay.
But
he drove his third car. He's a bomb car.
Car's bag of rubbish. It's got scratches all over it. But yeah, mate, the connectivity and authenticity. I think that's the kind of the key thing.
Yeah, and that's why, like, I found with workers and also new clients, corporate clients have got the new workers coming through the deal with. They're so different. Yeah, I find there's not much personality. I don't know what it is. It's a disconnect.
Yeah,
and I think it could be the technology. I just don't know.
Yeah,
it's just like a lot of delegation too. Like, no one wants to do a job.
Yeah,
and stick to it. There's a lot of sort of delegate, passing on, making excuses.
Yeah,
you know, that no one wants to work. No one wants to do their job. Before it was more of a grind.
I think now if I look at the type of leadership again, as I mentioned, I really respect and value, anyone can tell you what to do, right? And I always say, if you kind of walked in their shoes, where if I look at it from a sales business right now, it's easy to walk in and go, sales are down, the sales team is rubbish, right? Or whatever. And then you look and go, have they ever, you know, what's the kind of capability? Let's do a bit of a skills assessment. Take it right back to basics. Who are they speaking to? How are they communicating with them? Have they been developed? You know, all kind of the above. Have they been given the support that you actually kind of need? And that's where, as I say, with myself, I always try and lead by example. You know, if we're not getting in front of enough potential people, let me try. Let's try this way. And what I'm always continually doing is looking for different ways to spark up conversations. The big thing I always emphasize is offer value first and offer help, and keep doing it. And don't go in there. I think people often expect this, you've got to get an instant return or some kind of kickback. It doesn't work like that. People say, well, I've been helping, or I've done this and I've done that. You know, Mario, as you mentioned, is a great believer and he's helped me, you know, immensely. And it always comes back to you. I think that's the one thing that I always say, you know, offer help. And people can tell if you're genuine, you're kind of authentic, particularly in recruitment. The biggest issue that we have from a candidate side, you know, someone looking for a job, is that no one got back to me. You know, I sent my CV in, or I filled in a form, or I walked into the office and no one responds.
No one got back.
Yeah, it's the biggest issue in recruitment. Now, if I put my recruitment agency kind of cap on, I say, I get it, you know, we're getting lots of applications, but think about it. Maybe someone's just lost their job. They've got a mortgage to pay, right?
Yeah.
You know, they're desperately needing money. That's the way that I always try and look at it and go put yourself kind of in their shoes, you know?
Yeah. Well, there is a lot of workers.
Yeah.
Not much work at the moment. Well, there is work, but picky.
Yeah.
Who they have. Very picky. You know?
Yeah.
Because I think COVID sort of destroyed that a bit. It was bad before that, but it sort of took a lot of good out of the country.
Mate, there's definitely a lot of, it's a candidate-heavy market at the moment. And you're right when you say that there's less work. You know, even what we saw in the recruitment space, you've experienced this yourself. We had that kind of 2022 kind of COVID bounce, the bubble, where everyone was like, right, we've been in lockdown, let's hire, let's go crazy.
Yes.
And we saw the spikes. And then if you look at the data from Seek, you know, over the last 12 months, candidate applications took off, job openings went down.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's kind of where the market is. And then obviously we've dealt with inflation and kind of various things. It's been tough, man. Like, I don't know anyone, and again, I had this conversation today, I don't know many people in the recruitment industry right now who are saying it's absolutely on fire. We're kind of killing it.
It's tough, dude.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's like pushing things uphill, mate. Beating that horse.
Yeah.
Because it's like, how do you, especially the quality, like how can you promote a product? Like, you got to sell, right? Okay, if you don't believe in the product, how do you sell it? I can't do that.
So again, like, whatever, you bang on. So the first thing it says, do you actually believe in it, right?
That's a problem.
If you don't, then you're screwed.
Well,
I nearly swore then. But it's challenging, right? Like I see at the moment, you might not, in terms of recruitment businesses in Australia, minimum 10 to 12,000 in Australia, right? With the population that we've got, 25, 26 million. That's heavy. And what you see is a lack of job opportunities and people kind of getting desperate. And the things that I always say is you can't kind of control the market, but people play the long game. So again, can you go and speak to 10 potential job seekers today, or 10 people that are in work, and understand what's going on, what the opportunity, how long they've been there, what opportunity might interest them kind of coming up in the future, right? The same thing, 10 potential clients, right? In terms of what are they looking at, how might you be able to support them? And if you flip it on its head from a client's kind of aspect, the thing that they want is insights. They want relationships with people, right? It's not all about cost. They want to know, why is it better working with you, or why are you better suited working with us? It could be values. It could be that you've got access to market trends or data, that you host events. You really care about candidate care. Whatever the kind of your kind of unique value proposition is, that's where I think people are quite poor at actually really being able to say, this is what makes me unique. Everyone just goes straight to, I'm a specialist in this space, or I'm, or whatever, or try and undercut on price, and you're missing the point.
Yeah.
Very seldom do you see people switch from supplier purely based on cost, right? It's typically down to quality of service, quality of candidates, etc.
It's a service, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's where that goes from, where you say you build that rapport, get to know each other, not just go straight in, this is what I sell, or this is what I can do.
Yeah.
Sort of, you got to do the work, but network, like connect.
Mate, 100%. And even today, I laugh, you get blanket emails that kind of come through, or people message you through LinkedIn, and it goes, hey, I'm Daniel, connect. And it goes, and you go, okay, so you're a boss. And then it goes, did you not get my last message? And you're going, there's a reason that I didn't respond to that message, and this is why. And people are just, it's that kind of splattergun effect. And I've used automation tools, and it didn't quite work for me. But what I did was, I sat down and understood and said, okay, if this is your sales process, recruitment process, what are the steps? So, I don't know, qualified prospect through to, job brief, what have you. Where does this fit in the process? And what I try and do with any piece of technology, I go, okay, so where is the human touch point? Right? So as an example, if I sent you a connection request through using automation, I would then pause and maybe send a voice memo, because people's instant reaction is it's automated. Many people don't even think like that, and think to yourself, how would you respond if you're on the flip side, right? And I think this is where we've kind of got to as society. We're so used to technology doing everything. Like even now, there are so many different technology kind of solutions, apps that are popping up, that I am not the tech guru, but you have to kind of go in there and immerse yourself to at least have an understanding of where it might be able to kind of assist. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But I think so many people are just desperate to go, right, we'll just chuck it over there. There's the solution. And off you go.
They're not doing the work for it.
No.
They're not. We're in transition, aren't we?
Yes.
So that's what's so tough.
Yeah. Mate, it's. I think there's been more evolution and more innovation in the last 5 years than probably the last 20.
Yeah.
AI coming through is like when the internet kind of popped up, right?
It's been quick.
It's been very quick. There's a tool called, and I've been talking about this quite a bit recently, called Boardy, Boardy. It's less than 12 months old. If you have a look on LinkedIn, it's AI generated kind of bot, and it connects you. So you connect with Boardy. Who do you want to connect with? Bang. The disintermediation between human and bot, I sit here and I just go, and I shared it with a few people who go, oh, that's clunky, that's this, that's that. And I went, yeah, it raised quite a bit of money. So people are invested in it, and it will get better, more intuitive.
Wow.
I actually find that quite, it's a little bit scary, mate.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Scary, dude.
And you actually, when you go through and you can see it on there, it gives you a number and you ring it up and it answers. And you just go.
It's come so quick.
It's come so quick, yeah. It's come so quick.
We've got probably 6 months or a year. before we get taken over.
We're all
We'll
gone.
be AI'd, mate. There'll be no need for us.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll be at home.
Exactly.
On our phone watching ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. It's like, you can't really fight it. So then it goes back to the workforce as well.
Yeah.
So what about jobs? Like you're finding jobs are going to be shortened? Like if it's AI's coming in, we're going to lose work? Like,
I think we're still figuring it out, and there's a lot of nervousness, and a lot of unease. The reason that that's why I'm probably in a good position with sales. Sales, I don't believe will ever go away, but sales have fundamentally changed. What AI, machines, technology can't do is they don't have empathy.
yeah.
They can't consult, right? They don't show compassion. This is where, what I always say, and I sound like a bit of a tool when I say this, but harness their humanity. So if you're using technology, to a point, for me, very simple, I would say utilize it to know that you're speaking to the right people or connecting with the right people that you would like to have a conversation with. And then use your skills. This is why I've reached out to you, Daniel, why I work in this space. I've checked out your background. If you had, let's just say you qualified 5 to 10 people and they knew, and you picked up the phone, you would probably have a better conversation than just ringing up the phone to anybody. So that's how I use technology, right? To know that I'm pointing the kind of arrow in the right direction. It saves the time. But how things have changed, there's a lot more kind of upfront work that goes into, kind of cold calling or kind of various things. So I think, mates, in terms of when you're saying, is it going to disrupt the job market? Yes, it will. Even in recruitment, obviously, you work in yourself, it's automating those repeatable tasks, the admin tasks. It's not taking a job and obviously not kind of arranging salaries or negotiating those kind of things, but it's definitely taking away kind of repeatable tasks.
Yeah, so we're still needed.
We still need it. We are still needed, mate. Yeah, sales, as I mentioned, people still want a relationship. They want to have
got to keep that going. That's what you're
got to
about.
keep it going. Bringing it right the way back round. When I talked about the other day, the most common things that you need to master these days to be successful in whatever industry. Number one, get a grip of video. Whether you like it or not, no one particularly likes being in front of a camera because they think, oh, geez, I sound bad. Let's do 27 takes or whatever. The first time I went on one a couple of years ago, it was pretty crap. And then you get better. And then people go, oh, actually, that's not too bad. Then people go, geez, I'm sick of seeing him, whatever. But, but it's authentic.
Yeah.
Mastering LinkedIn is another one. LinkedIn has fundamentally changed because it's now more pro video.
Okay.
Because people's attention span has changed, right?
I've noticed because you do a few videos.
Yeah.
You use it like Facebook. It's used quite a bit. Yeah.
Mate, it stands out, right? Like,
because it was just it was like a business boring sort of a thing.
Yeah, it's changed. It's very much social media usage. Like it used to be, go on there, post a job, post a really long post, and bore people to death. Now people just don't have the attention span. They just want to quickly scroll through. Take a pick on which stat you read, but it's between 20 to 40 times more. You get 20 to 40 times more engagement of video on there.
Yeah.
And here's what I find, find a formula that works for me. It's less than 60 seconds. I tend to talk about 3 key points. Here's what I'm going to go on about today. Here's how you can be successful in sales. Bang, bang, bang. And people know it's you. So, it's authentic. It's me. I typically do it because I enjoy it. I talk about the things that I know a bit about: sales, branding, relationship building. If I was talking about financial advice, people are like, what's he on? So that personal branding piece was the next one, which is if people, they want to get to know you, what you're about, right? They want to know what's it like to have a relationship with you. And if you take LinkedIn, the biggest kind of throwaway comment that people used to say over the last couple of years is, it's not Facebook. Guess what?
Yeah.
It absolutely is. It's kind of corporate
business.
Facebook.
Yeah, it is,
business, yeah. So think about it like how...
Yeah, you're ahead of it.
I don't know about that. But
Well, what I see. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Because you do promote yourself and what you believe in. I was saying before, networking too. It's not like what you can get out of it. Like you obviously you do the boxing that we were talking about.
Yeah, not very well, but have a go.
Yeah, but you promote.
Yeah.
You bring people together.
Yeah.
Just to do something. I think, and the magic comes from that.
Oh, mate, 100%. So, we talked a lot about AI, kind of various things. Sales and recruitment always is a people business, right? Especially. So, I've hosted networking events, in-person events. Sound old now, but since about 2014, did my first one. And I always remember it was a tray of sandwiches or whatever on the table. We had about 4 or 5 people. Then the next one just very quickly grew. And it was literally quite simple, which was I thought, well, what would potential buyers want to speak about? Challenges that other clients or other have spoken about. And it kind of went on from there. And then just started doing lunches and various things. So, mate, I've done them all for over 10 plus years. Over the last kind of 18 months under my Stolen Co banner, I've done kind of my own. And the tagline was change the game. And it was literally a play on sport, which is, do things differently.
Yep.
And it's just kind of, I always have a couple of athletes in there. People take the mickey out of me because, I'm into my boxing, not because I'm a knockout machine or anything like that. I actually like, believe it or not, the mindset, which is that kind of, you're in there on your own, right? It's you against you. And that's what it relates so much to sales, which is you can have the best sales coach, the best mentors. You can have all the tech that you kind of want. If you don't genuinely believe it or give it your all, you're not going to succeed. Mm-hmm. Boxing is the best example of that, you'll ever see.
A good tool for that.
It is.
And you can use that for work and everything.
Yeah. So, mate, that's kind of the play. But on the networking side, just enjoy bringing people together, mate, like very, very kind of pure, way it enables people just to get together, and have a conversation.
Yeah. It is. And that's, you got something coming up as well. I don't know if this might go out afterwards, to be honest, but when is it? Is it the 20...
Mate,
what's that one? Yeah.
Thursday week, so it's changed the game against all odds. I'm hosting it at Expert 360 in Martin Place. It'll be the 4th time I've done an event there. Mate, again, I always tend to get about 100 to 150 people. And it's the same kind of feel. There's no selling there, right? So it's a case of, here's some really interesting people. This one we have a psychologist. I've got a couple of... So Ted Kofi, former world champion. He's now main presenter for DAZN Boxing. Okay. He's got to know him. I want to know, if we bring it back to sales, people are afraid of video. How the hell do you stand in front of a camera day after day, and kind of control the audience? I'm genuinely interested.
Yep.
How was life for you after boxing? Things like that. Simon Roberts, who works with the AFL in terms of player wellness. I'm interested what you're doing there that, we can take away into the kind of the corporate space. I'm going to try to remember the speakers here. Colin Cuthbert, who's a gentleman I've known very well. He gave me some stick because when I did a video the other day, I forgot him. And he's one of the sponsors. Col I've known for years. He's been very public about this. A couple of years ago, he was actually selling his business, which had been quite a happy time. He actually had a bit of a mental breakdown. And he's kind of came back. And it was actually Cohen Mazudia who's speaking, described it as like a phoenix rising, which I thought was really... I thought it was a beautiful comment, mate, because I know this guy really well. Yeah. And to see someone go, this was me, and I'm kind of coming back out, it actually gets me quite emotional, like, because this is real life with people, right? People going through stuff.
Yeah.
Who else have I got on there? So Cohen Mazudia, I got to meet before Christmas. Cohen is, a very tough boxer, but again, had some kind of mental challenges a few years ago. And I should have prefaced that with the event is actually talking about mental wellness. That's a big thing. So I'm not an expert in that space, but
he's lived it.
He's lived it. Yeah, Cohen has. So he's going to speak relating it back to boxing and how he's kind of gone through it. Samantha Darbich, a lady that I know kind of quite well, TEDx speaker, psychologist, executive coach. She's one of the grittiest people I've known. And Kamal Sama, Resilium, and he also does a lot of work with the Are You OK Foundation. Just a great lineup of speakers sharing their stories in terms of how they go about the daily life.
Man. And like the tickets are free.
Tickets are free. People have said to me, I'm stupid because you should charge $20 or charge something. Go back to what I said at the beginning. If I help one or two people, then that to me means more. And, people say, what's the ROI or what's this? And I go, at every event, someone's come away and said, let's catch up next week, or let's do this, let's do whatever. This one was actually a bit of a challenge to put together because it's not specific to recruitment. And I'm not the mental wellness expert, right? But I felt there was a conversation to be had from my own kind of experiences. I've had a tough, last kind of 12, 18 months, right? We're all dealing with challenges in our everyday life. You put a smile on, and it's been tough. The recruitment market's been tough. The musician, who's a good friend of mine, a guy called Pete Raven, he's playing on the night. he had some challenges himself last year. This is what makes me feel really, it makes me feel really proud. He said, I'll play for free because I want to listen to those speakers.
Oh, dude, that's beautiful, man.
Brilliant, yeah. And I mean, that was... This goes out afterwards. We're doing a few things to kind of help. Like, you know, he actually turned down a night's work to come play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When I feel stuff like that, that makes me feel like I'm doing things for the right reasons.
Yeah,
you know, and so
man.
I'm actually quite proud of that.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. That's why you're here, because like, you know, we're talking.
Well, mate,
hear what you do and that, and I thought that's why I thought I'd bring you in, because it's share the love, mate. Spread the love.
Thank you. I mean, when I did this, and mate, like, I'll come out singing with him, by the way, so that's my thing. I don't sing very well, but I actually don't care. I'll take my work very seriously. I don't take myself too seriously, and that's how I've built my kind of reputation, what have you. I want to put a smile on people's faces. Some people take the piss when they heard that, and I'm going, that's exactly what I want to do. Just go, you know, everyone's kind of dealing with stuff. Here's some frameworks for you to actually operate at the best level, you know, for like a Cohen again. And I look and I go, you know, he fought Nikita Tszyu fight of the year last year. And I watched him go through. I'm just like, that, the mental stability and stuff to kind of, to go there, and someone that's kind of come through and gone to that level again, mate, you know, that's
it's a warrior, mate.
You mate, 100%. And so to have those kind of people there, with just everyday folk, I'm quite...
The energy, mate, would be so high.
Well, the energy, yeah. And I'm just... I still sometimes have to scratch myself, because I think I'm a good enough, and I say this at every event, am I good enough to host these speakers? And this one definitely ticks that box. Like, I still have to go, why would people come and watch?
Well, you started with 5, you said.
Yeah.
And then 150, hadn't you?
Yeah, there's 110 signed up today, so we'll end up with north of 100, between 100 and 150, yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah.
And then what's your next one after this? Like, you planning ahead, or are you just going to do this and then go to the next one?
Mate, I do them every quarter, and if I don't do them, then people think something's kind of wrong. So yeah, there will definitely be another one. I just, again, and even the speakers perform for, you know, it's done with the intention that you're giving back, right? Yeah. This is the key thing, and I think there's something to be said for that. So even when I give people the opportunity to meet with a crowd of genuine, like, recruiters, and we take the mick out of ourselves. They do it because they want to help people, right? And so, you know, we all take the mick, and people said, you use car salesmen, this, that, and the other. But actually, very seldom. I didn't go to uni. Most people have come from the UK and Ireland. There's a lot of kind of people from over that part of the world. They work hard, and they're generally quite humble. And so with the speakers, it's not a normal crowd that they would have been in. And I quite like that. I like giving people access to different audiences, you know. So well, I don't know what the next one's going to be yet.
Yeah, wait for this one.
Yeah,
but it is giving back, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's the beauty of it,
mate.
That's what makes the magic.
It makes the magic. You know, I still even like, I've got like OCD when it comes to these events, and everyone. My wife said to me, "Don't do another one. Don't do another one. Don't do another one," because she knows that for 4 weeks I just go into like autopilot.
Yeah.
And if I look at the build up that we've done on this, you know, I've had support and sponsors that have kind of come on board. We're not talking big money, mate. Someone said, I'll put in 500. They do it because they want to be attached to it. That means so much to me. Literally, we've built this off reputation, you know, kind of past performance, the fact that people know there's no selling. So again, it's not like I get there and I go, hey, Steve Tolen, da-da-da, and there's a set of steak knives if you sign up today with da-da-da. It's a case of I get there, I tend to do a bit of singing, you see what I mean? But let people speak, listen to the speakers and the network. This is where a lot of events, I truly believe, have kind of got it wrong, because they think captive audience, let's get that, you know, how do we...
It's about the money.
Bingo.
Yeah, when it's about the money, it's different, isn't it?
Yeah. So
different.
Yeah. So mate, looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. I'm aiming to get. I'll be there. Got my kids, but I'll be there.
Bring them down, man. You know, I tend to bring mine.
Yeah, that's right. You're saying.
Want them to see how people converse and engage. You know, like we said right at the beginning. Get out and actually have conversations. Look people in the eye. You know, my son, my eldest.
Yeah, how old's he? Sorry.
He's 15.
That's right.
So he's just gone back to. He's gone back to Bathurst yesterday. So dropped him off at Blacktown because the trains weren't running. And
that's right. He goes boarding school.
Yeah, he's off to. He's in Stannies.
Dead Pole Society. No.
So, no, I think he's there just causing chaos. But you know, he was back on the weekend, and again, as I said, I was listening to Nick's kind of podcast yesterday about fatherhood and stuff, mate. And when we haven't seen your eldest for, you know, he goes away and he was coming back 3 weeks, you know, once every 3 weeks, 4 weeks. At that age, mate, they grow up, and it's quite nice to see the change. And the one thing that people comment on is I don't know where he gets this from, but he's well mannered. It's definitely not from me. He looks people in the eye, he shakes hands, and he's engaging.
It's what you've been going on about.
It must be from his mother.
Yeah, but that's what you're trying to teach, see?
Mate,
he's doing it indirectly. He's like, he doesn't listen to you.
Yeah, mate.
But he's doing it.
Yeah, he's... So I give the school...
That's good.
I give the school a lot of credit there. And I think being out in the country is definitely been the right environment for him.
Yeah, but it's also... Yeah. I wouldn't mind about going out the country, actually.
Yeah, mate, I'll
That'd
take
be
it
nice
myself.
to go to Bathurst, eh? Go for a week, come back to the weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'd be well behaved.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, but it's a school, but it's you too. You know, it's you too. Look at
Mate.
the work you're doing. Look at the work you're doing.
Mate,
That's where you
I
lead by
don't know,
example,
man.
you know, being a parent, being a father figure, you know.
I don't know, man. Like, I and again, I was listening to that podcast. I think there's no rule book for being a father. You know, I've got 3. This is my eldest. We made the decision to send him to Stannies, and it was funny. People's response was, "Is it that bad?" And I was going, "You've seen the opportunity and stuff, but was he mature enough at 15 to be able to go and board? Because he wasn't happy where he was in the local school." And I thought, well, he likes rugby and this, that, and the other, and he was just a little bit lonely, and that's not nice to see as a parent, you know. And on the phone, mate, you know, upstairs, and I was like, Jesus Christ, you know, we've got to give him a better opportunity. And if I take one thing, I'm proud that we could give him that opportunity. That's the one thing.
You're aware of it, and you did.
Yeah.
Took action.
You know, and to see what it's actually, how he's actually maturing, I think is the biggest thing. Academically, he's got a long way to go, but you know, mate, he's turning into a good kid, and he actually enjoys it, which I think is the main thing.
Yeah,
you know?
See, that's good. See,
Yeah.
he's getting something out of it.
Indeed.
Yeah. So how long's he there for? 15.
He'd be there, mate, for another couple of years, all going well, unless he gets kicked out. So, which you just don't know. He's had his moments. He's been testing and pushing boundaries, but he seems to have kind of settled down a little bit now. They've done a good job with him.
And the other two, how old's the other two?
The other 2 are, Jesus, I should know this, shouldn't I? 13 and 10. So Eve goes to school at Stella, and Nathaniel goes to Kilcurl.
Okay, okay. Yeah, Northern Beaches. Yeah, I got the 12-year-old turned 13.
Okay,
My teenage years are coming.
mate, it's interesting.
It's coming, man.
It definitely tests you.
It does. It really does. It changes.
And where they go to school?
Hawkesbury.
Okay.
At their bead. Yeah. Catholic school.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a good school. They, dress well, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Mate, it's hard, man. Like, it's, and you know, they grow up quite quickly.
Very quick.
And you...
Well,
go on.
Yeah, well, Nick's got a 3-year-old.
Okay.
You know, and I enjoy that.
Yeah.
Enjoy the 3-year-old because they want to play with you and they're tiring. But when they,
Yeah.
they're bike riding and stuff, that goes.
Yeah.
I think age, what is it, 9, 10, maybe 11. They start to, and the phones too. That's
Yeah.
it. Come home
Yeah.
from school and sit
Yeah.
down, relax. There's
Yeah.
no Dad, let's go kick the ball. Let's go for a bike ride.
Yeah.
That drops off.
Yeah.
You go, what's going on here?
Yeah.
You know,
Mate,
it goes really quick. It comes quick.
It does. My youngest is 10, Nathaniel. He's I'm trying to enjoy it as much as I can because I know I've seen how it changes.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to enjoy it. Like it's funny because having 3, we said this yesterday. It's kind of like you've been through this with the elder 2, and he's cruisy. You know what I mean? He's pretty easy. He's quite a social kid, very headstrong, stubborn. Some might say, but I'm trying to enjoy it, mate. Because again, having seen Ethan kind of flee the nest, like that was Jesus Christ, he's 15, he's gone here, you know what I mean? And the changes, mate, with phones and stuff, and everyone had said to us they'll be out with the friends, and it happened, and then you're like, oh
Yeah.
sure, want to hang out with
Yeah.
no,
Then you start a podcast.
yeah, exactly,
Well, you
exactly.
go on podcasts, you do events.
Yeah.
It's like, what do I do?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I guess what's the future for Steve, for Stolen?
Oh, mate.
Stolen. I like that.
Yeah, mate. Geez. I mean, the priorities this year has definitely been, fitness has been a big area for me. I had a back injury I'll tell you exactly when it was, 31st of October. knocked me out for literally only been back a few weeks, mate, and that was quite tough. So yeah, I'm just trying to get back into it right now. Put a few kegs on because I literally couldn't do anything, and the body it takes longer to heal. So the fitness was number one, and the reason I kind of say that before go any kind of further is I haven't been back in the gym the last kind of couple of weeks. I'm a totally different person. I'm a morning person. If I go in, do some boxing, do some just lift some weights, various things, I'm a much better person because I know I've accomplished something.
Yeah.
So that was the first thing, kind of get into that. Get myself kind of set up. I'm doing, from a work perspective, we're working through things at pinpoints at the moment. It's been a challenging kind of start to the year. We're IT recruitment is kind of our kind of day to day and what we specialize in.
That's right. That's IT.
And it's challenging at the moment, right? Like as I mentioned, with an election year, kind of various things. So really focused on that, trying to get the business growing, to be honest, and moving in the right direction. That's kind of a key thing because 2024 was a tough year. And then, from a personal perspective, continue trying to be a better dad as best as I kind of can. As I mentioned, even with my boy, he comes back every weekend, Ethan, trying to spend as much time with him as I can. And I think also the events will not kind of go away. So events, I've got to.
That's your passion.
That's my passion.
That's something building up.
I've got a podcast in the background as well, which is related to kind of launch because, mate, I enjoy it. So, mate, there's some of the big ticket items for this year.
You've done the hard yards. You're setting up businesses, and now it's time for you to do some sort of venture.
I think on the what do people say, kind of side hustle or whatever. Definitely a podcast is something that I kind of talked about for a while. It makes sense, I'm lucky enough to know some amazing people. So that's something I actually did. It's something that's been on the back burner for a few years, and the biggest issue has been time. In terms of really just getting the ability to kind of go through it. So I'll get there. That's something I need to kind of tick off.
Yeah, it's hard. Well, that's why I've come to Nick.
Yeah,
he saves the time.
I'll have to give Nick
better media, mate.
Exactly.
Hey?
Yeah.
Our calls as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So okay, cool, man. Well, next time in DY, I've got to give you a buzz. Next time we're down to the barber shop.
Yeah. I like it down there. I was in there recently. I've spent a bit of time in there, so I quite like DY. They all know.
Does he do your hair?
He doesn't know. I've been in there once recently, but
well, because he got Marco as well.
Yeah,
so that's why you helped Marco out. You were saying.
So, mate, Marco's
he's
a great guy. He's fighting again on kind of March the 2nd, which I'm looking forward to. Spoke to him a couple of days ago. He should have fought in October. Had a shoulder injury, so he's going again. Mate, again, same thing. I was actually introduced to him by a mutual friend, and he's a young lad looking for sponsorships, and I was quite proud to sponsor him, isn't it? Whatever it was, something that just helped him get through his kind of training process. And mate, he's a great guy. He's very talented. He won a couple of titles last year. He's on course for his third. And I like his energy. He's just he's infectious. So I've helped him with his kind of social media. Same as I've done a bit with Cohen as well.
Yeah.
Setting the guys up on kind of LinkedIn, because what they're looking to do, and again, as I kind of mentioned before, is they need often if they're trying to track sponsors or whatever, or build a kind of a brand. It's doing that outside the ring, and also how do you come across and kind of communicate, and particularly if you're looking to engage with corporates, what's the value? So even when you're talking about that boxing kind of experience, how does that translate into everyday life or business or what have you? And it's a thing like, okay, if I look at the questions that we kind of talk about when Marco spoke on the last two, he's very authentic. He talked about what's your purpose, do it for mum. And
yes,
it was just great, mate.
Yeah, you put that up. It's good.
And it was just so kind of natural. Really enjoyed kind of listening to him. And again, yes, I'm a boxing fan, but I admire. I'm friggin' rubbish, but I just enjoy it. I enjoy kind of getting in there and kind of having a go and just hitting the bags and stuff. But the reality is that until they actually make it, as you know, is they don't tend to make an awful lot of money. So they rely on sponsors, support, and if I can play a small role in actually helping him build his brand, attract or just gain attention, then I quite enjoy it. So, mate, yeah, I've been I've been fortunate enough to kind of get to know him and look forward to seeing him do the business on the 2nd of March.
All right, I'm going to come watch him.
Yeah, you coming down?
2nd of March.
2nd of March, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So it's on my event's on the Thursday. He'll be there on the Sunday.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so see what you do. If there's more people like you, Steve, to give.
Yeah.
And not think about what they receive.
Yeah.
You know?
Mate.
Yeah, like... So you're helping him out to sponsor him for what reason? Just
because I know it means something, right? And again, it's great to help people. Like as I say, I was fortunate to work with him, and then also get to meet with Cohen. Same thing, just helping them with the branding and some of the social media. I think if you've got knowledge, and you can help others, then do it. Again, even when I first spoke to kind of Cohen, jumping around a little bit, what's in it for you? And it's like there's no invoice or nothing. I just enjoy it, and I know how social media works and how you build kind of brands and things. That's the stuff I enjoy. So my passion's building brands, building businesses, unboxing,
and enjoy what comes of it. Because that's what you get asked. Like, what's in it for you? It's like, it doesn't have to be.
Mate.
It doesn't have to be like that.
Yeah, mate. And I think again, as I've always don't go into something expecting, some kickback or some return, because it doesn't work like that, So I think that's the way I've always kind of entered into relationships. And even if we, meet for a coffee or whatever, I think there might be some potential opportunity. Even if there isn't, it doesn't mean that it was a, waste of time. I will always try and explore and kind of get to know the person and connect people. I enjoy being a connector. So I'm already thinking and going, okay, who can I kind of connect this person up with and stuff? And sometimes I do, and people think I'm a bit nuts.
Natural,
and stuff. But I do it. But I enjoy it, right?
Yeah,
and I think,
you're
okay,
a networker, mate.
moving the jigsaw pieces.
Yeah, it's
around.
good. It's good. That's why I ask. Because that's great, fantastic.
Yeah.
Very similar in a way,
Yeah.
And I think that's the recruiting.
Because
that's me. I've done that for 20 plus years, and it's just naturally. You want to connect, find people work.
Yeah.
Get the right candidate.
But you can see, like yourself, mate. You've got an energy, right? And I can see who's. You can see those that are genuinely into it, right, and invested. And this is again, going back to that kind of sporting piece. You only get out what you put in.
Yep.
In anything. It's especially true in recruitment, right? So, as I say, if the market is tough or what have you, I always say, okay, well, go and offer value. There must be people that you can connect with and not expect anything in return. The biggest, again, kind of bit of feedback that we get again from clients is when things turn, we always remember the ones that were there in the good times, in the bad times, and then we look after them when things kind of pick up. And it was always the ones that, they weren't bashing the phone and going, listen, and just really annoying people. They was going, understand we're here. We're just keeping in touch. Just let you know, is there anything you need? Whether it's market data, we're doing an event just where you can come along and meet some people. Had a look at your website or had a look here. Actually, Daniel, do you know what? I know you're not hiring at the moment, but here's some data on 3 or 4 of your competitors. Here's what they're doing to attract people or whatever. Or had a look at your website, saw your LinkedIn page, saw you doing whatever. Just there's a few recommendations I thought might improve. Now, if you got that off someone, right, and there was nothing in it apart from just offering you value, versus someone who picked up the phone and said, Daniel, you got any jobs? You got any job bank? Who would you kind of go look to build a relationship, right?
Yeah.
So, mate, that's the way that I'm kind of programmed. So
yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Well, then you got to reprogram the young generation, Steve.
Mate, I'm trying.
You got to reprogram them to not expect things, it's the same in relationships as well. Everything.
Yeah.
What can I get out of it? So just give, and something will come out. Don't expect anything. It's like work. What am I entitled to?
Yeah.
Or how can I? So, yeah, I think that mindset can be really really good.
Well, like someone asked me this question. They said, if we said to you, might have been Mario, we said the statement is life's not fair. What would you say? And I go, it's not fair. No. What do you kind of expect, right? And in any job, any environment or whatever that I've been in, you have to kind of fight for what you want, right? You have to battle, especially when you've run your kind of your own business. When you've been, it's interesting now being back in the corporate, you know, you have that kind of safety net. Some people might say, oh, you got a salary or you got whatever. But the challenges are different. And when you've kind of run your own business, you know, you're doing everything from the marketing, the finance guy, you know, you're absolutely whatever. But I still look, and recruitment again is the best example of this. The people that are also successful doesn't mean that they have the best dressed or the most knowledgeable or what have you. They tend to be the most committed, dedicated, and focused, and they work hard. Right? That's the difference. Mm-hmm. And everything that I've ever kind of achieved has really been through hard work, you know, tenacity and kind of sticking to it. So I think that's the one thing that I would kind of say in terms of the younger generation kind of coming up. You know, you've got to get used to kind of, pardon the pun, but rolling with the punches. Setbacks are actually kind of part and parcel of life, and there are times that you will, you know, you won't win, and it's that, that kind of cheesy thing when you say you either win or kind of learn, right? And it's true. Like, I've learned so much more from losses in business, in kind of tough situations. You know, all the time there are definitely more people more experienced from me, and I'm like a sponge. You know, as I say, with people with different experiences, technology or whatever it is. I'm always sitting there, and I know where my kind of skills are and where my skills aren't, but yeah, just kind of give it all you got, you know.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah,
keep going.
Keep going.
Yeah, and if you get knocked back, get up,
mate. If you get knocked back,
get up with a smile.
Get up with a smile. You know, be resilient. I think that's the kind of the key thing, and the buzzword at the moment, which is, you know, resilience. I think people are, as I mentioned earlier on, instant kind of gratification, right? And you just got to stay the course. I think often, you know, even if you look at kind of podcasts or various things, the messages that come out from those that have been successful tends to be they're just kind of stuck at it, right? Or they gave it a go. They kept learning. They go back. I mean, even today we were talking with the team, and they said, look, we're struggling with BD, right? We're struggling connecting with people. And I said, okay, we've got a whiteboard, and we said, like, here we go. Here's how I would approach people. Here's how I would, you know, try to engage with them, right? We did it from scratch. And I said, this is how I kind of go about it. If it's not working, there's a couple of things that are probably wrong. Maybe it's your hook. The hook's not good enough, right? Like, so, you know, if you're reaching out, you know, points of difference, you're not selling. Hey, Daniel, here I am. It's Steve from, you know, kind of Pinpoint Talent. Mate, I'd look at your profile. Just thought you'd be interested in knowing that, you know, there's candidates short in this kind of space. And here's an article, bang, bang, bang. There's no sell or whatever. It's just you saying, here's me offering you something. And if someone go, well, what if this person doesn't respond? If they don't respond, you know, cool, follow up again. You know, but again, quite inoffensive. And what tends to happen is you build that kind of conversation. You know, you get almost an online conversation. You know, so again, it's thinking, how do I go back to that piece around getting attention? How do I get noticed? That's the kind of key thing.
Nudge.
Yeah, mate.
Not too hard. Just a little nudge.
Just a little nudge.
Another nudge.
Little nudge. But
until they get your attention a bit.
Until they get your attention. Yeah. But if you think yourself, like, everyone's busy, right? Like, there's so much that's kind of happening. How that's my number one piece of advice. If you want to be successful in anything, in any line of business, work out how to stand out and be different. And I spent a lot of time thinking, you know, like I said, I talked about the singing and stuff before. And then I was thinking, oh, it's a corporate event, I can't do this. And then I was like, I don't actually care.
Yes.
Because people kind of look before, they're like, so I normally do Robbie Williams Angels. So there we go. That's my personality kind of coming out. And now people get used to it, right? But they're like, oh, it's stolen. Yeah, what's he doing singing?
Yeah, that's good.
But people, mate, I said, take my work seriously, don't take myself too seriously. So that's my tag.
Oh, good, man.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
No worries, thank you.
Yeah. Well, mate, how long does it take you home? Hour and a bit?
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. We're going to keep in touch for sure.
Okay.
I'll try and make that Thursday.
Yeah.
And the fight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. All right.
No worries. Thanks very much.
Thanks, man.
Cheers.